Marvel Rivals is a 6v6 hero shooter that's a lot like Overwatch. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Marvel Rivals is a 6v6 hero shooter that's basically just Overwatch if Overwatch was any good these days. The mission structures are pretty similar: push the thing, capture the area, stop them from pushing the thing. But instead of starring a bunch of brooding bad boys and women with identical faces, Marvel Rivals is packed to the brim with brooding Marvel bad boys and women with the same body models. Except for Squirrel Girl, but the people have gone absolutely nuts for her, no pun intended. Like, I'm not even gonna try to attempt to show you the fan art I've seen of this poor lady. Marvel Rivals is more popular than God right now, and if they keep adding skins like the Sue Storm Malice outfit, I think we're gonna start seeing a full-blown cult pop up. And honestly, I get it. The game is great. It's an excellent hero shooter that makes good on what makes the genre so compelling. The current character roster for Season 1 is really solid. There are only a handful of completely broken characters. For example, every single character that I'm not currently playing is absolutely busted until the second that I switch to them, in which case they're super underpowered and need immediate buffs. Or maybe that's just a me thing. For real though, the entire roster actually feels super viable both casually and competitively, which is made for some totally useless and hilarious tier lists that place like 98% of all characters in the S and A tier. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you can see what I mean. Honestly, I think that's actually the sign of a well-balanced, solid game, because no one seems to think that there are any characters that are absolute trash. Well, outside of Black Widow, according to basically every tier list, and also me.
You're trash, Brock.
But I think it's kind of a major accomplishment for a hero shooter to have basically its entire cast to be seen as good picks. I think it's kind of interesting.
It's interesting, the ghosts.
That Marvel Rivals acts as a gamer horoscope of sorts. For example, if you main Punisher, you're likely the kind of gamer who plays a lot of first-person shooters. Magic players are people who played Elden Ring with the biggest sword they could find. Wolverine mains are for gamers who love launching themselves off cliffs. Spider-Man mains are for people who, when they were kids playing intramural soccer, would rather run around the field kicking dandelions than actually play the game. Mantis mains are perfect and I love them. Sue Storm mains are... Okay, I can make another easy joke here, but she's actually a top tier character in my opinion, an absolutely essential support character, so I'm not even gonna try to knock it. And you know what? NetEase figured out that if you make a character so fine, people will switch from DPS to be a healer, which is an absolutely insane feat. You have to respect that. If you play Penny Parker, you probably cried at the end of Evangelion. Loki mains are engineers in their day jobs. Quoting zero punctuation here. Hawkeye mains.
So for people who like point-and-click adventure games, although admittedly the only puzzle is used
bow
on man.
If you play Cloak and Dagger, I bet you have a hard time choosing where to eat when your friends ask you to pick. And Iron Fist mains are going to hell. Seriously, I do think it's a pretty big feat that NetEase figured out how to get people to play support characters. And the solution was as simple as make them really fun to play by giving them a gameplay loop that doesn't exclusively revolve around shooting your own team for 12 minutes straight. Now, when I'm put on a team with 5 people who are absolutely locked into playing DPS, I don't mind taking one for the team and playing Cloak and Dagger or the Invisible Woman. I mean, we'll still lose with that kind of team comp, but hey, at least I know we're not losing because of me. Marvel Rivals is the perfect game if you want to win 2 rounds at the start of the night and feel pretty good about yourself before being steamrolled 10 matches in a row because you got put on teams with people who don't know how to play the objective. Listen, if you want to play team deathmatch, there's a queue for that. Don't lower my gaming self-esteem by subjecting me to 3 hours of straight losses just because you wish you were playing Halo 3.
Killing spree.
That said, one time I almost got timed out for inactivity because I was the only one playing the objective, so who knows, maybe I'm completely off base here. Now, I know what you're thinking, and please, stop thinking that. Okay, so you're also thinking, well, that's what you get for playing quick play, Peter. Everyone in the competitive queue actually takes this stuff seriously. And that's how I know for a fact that you've never played competitive in Marvel Rivals. This thing is also a clown show because for Season 1, there are no placement matches, meaning that you get paired up with the same randos in quick play as you inch your way to the top with people who still aren't playing the objective. It feels like playing Jenga with a baby because you pull out a win after thoughtfully and carefully playing a character that you've spent hours trying to master, only to have your rank demoted by someone playing Cloak and Dagger exclusively as an offensive character. Pro gamer tip alert, 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 don't do that. Here's another one for free. Group up. When your team is getting killed one by one by a big group of enemies, and then you run back into the fray in a single file line, 6 seconds apart from one another, you're gonna get killed. It might feel counterproductive to wait for people instead of sprinting back into the action, but you cannot 1v6 these fights, I promise you. If you get big into Marvel Rivals, be prepared to not know a single map name. For absolutely no reason at all, NetEase decided to make each map name super verbose and like 6 words long while using a bunch of made-up comic book words.
That's a made-up word.
Who was made up?
All right, so let's take a look at these map names. So starting out, it's pretty simple. You know, Tokyo 2099, Shin Shibuya, Shin New Shibuya. That's just a city. That makes sense, right? Tokyo 2099, Spider Islands. That's also, you know, perfectly fine. Yeesgard, yeah. Yeesgard Yggdrasil, and I only know how to pronounce this word from God of War. Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, Hall of Djalia, Jalia. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words long. Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, Burnin T'Challa, Burnin, Yggdrasgard. You think it's like Yggdrasgard? Royal Palace. It's the simplest one so far. Hall of Chartursis base, Hell's Heaven. Is this just like a word that I don't know? Is this just like an English word that I don't know? No. I'm gonna say no. No, it is not. Okay. And then Kleintar Symbiotic Surface. It's just like wild. Like, yeah, man, I'm ready to like let's get ready for Hydra Chartursis base : Hell's Heaven. It's perfect naming. What is this? When it first launched, everyone was saying that Marvel Rivals was going to be a flash in the pan like Pal World or The First Descendant or a third actually good game, but this thing is here to stay. First of all, it's filling the Overwatch-shaped hole that was left after Overwatch 2 pretended like it was a sequel, only to be 55 gigs of nothing.
And here we go. I hope you're hungry for nothing.
On top of all that, the content plan for Marvel Rivals is really enticing. For a game that costs $0, you get a new character every month and a half, and given how fun the current roster of characters is to play, there's a lot of excitement for whatever comes next. On top of that, I feel like Marvel Rivals has gotten people excited and interested in Marvel again after the MCU decided to just flounder around with mid-TV shows and the worst movies they've ever made. I mean, you've got people saying that comic book shops are having problems keeping things in stock, and like that's not something that the MCU ever really did for all its effort. Who knew that making a game using one of the biggest IPs in the world that's just flat out fun to play regardless of what character you pick would lead to millions and millions of dollars? No, Square Enix, I said it had to be fun. Or maybe there's something else drawing people in. Who knows? It could be Iron Fist! Like and subscribe.